Let's get this show started here. Lights on. Man, this book really sucks. Twat, I spot a putty tat. What are you thinking? Oh, the camera's on. Oh, crap. Delete that. Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. And this was the review I was supposed to hold on Wednesday, but I ended up working a full shift, 12 hours, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And needless to say, when I got home, I was tired, so I just fell asleep. So today's review is a special review. It's being dedicated to my oldest brother, George, who is 7 years my elder. He is in the security industry. He is a director of safety. I'm not sure what his exact title is, for the University of Utah. So he has a very responsible job. I would say a little more responsible than mine, because he's in charge of everybody's safety. Me, I'm just in charge of my patient's safety. Of course, my own. So I would not want to be in his shoes. That's quite a position to have. He went to school, got a degree, and a master's degree, actually, which I am very proud. Highest educated person in this family. But he wrote this book, and no, it doesn't actually suck. That was completely bogus, if you haven't figured that out. I spent all night Tuesday night and into Tuesday or Wednesday morning reading this book, and I must say, fantastic. I'll cover more of it when at the end of the review, but he had, oh gosh, he has a picture of himself in the back. I missed that. Sorry, George. But if you're interested, this book is for sale on barnesandnoble.com. I will put a link in the description, but I'll talk more about this book at the end of the review. Today, we're going to be looking at the 1987 Law and Order. Cobra. Yeah, it's Cobra's MP. No, it's G.I. Joe's designated MP. Mutt and Junkyard somewhat had that role in 84. He wasn't classified as an MP. He was a dog handler, so it could have been any number of things. You know, mine detection, search and rescue. They really didn't determine what Mutt's job really was outside of handling junkyard. Law and Order, on the other hand, are actually police. And yes, the dog is a police officer. Every dog that works for any police department throughout the world, as far as I know, are sworn officers. So if you assault a police dog, you are actually assaulting an officer. So not wise at all. That would be a felony. Even if you want to pet a police dog, you should ask for permission. And 9 times out of 10, the handler will say, yeah, go right ahead, unless the dog is actually in the middle of a training exercise, and then you ignore the dog because he needs to focus on the job. A dog is a dog. They crave attention, so a lot of times the dog is very well behaved, but I've been around police dogs where they're wanting me to play with them, but they're actually in the middle of an exercise. I did security before I became a respiratory therapist, so occasionally the police would come out to the mall where I was working, and we would allow them to train their dogs in the parking lot or go into the mall and train. So this dog, I remember, Bullwinkle was his name. Not a German Shepherd, a Belgian, some sort of dog, trained in Europe, a very expensive dog, very beautiful dog. So I was standing out in the parking lot. I was off the clock. I got off at 1 a.m. I worked from 4 to 1. And I was out there watching the police train and standing next to the handler talking with him. And Bullwinkle kept on wanting my attention, but I had sense enough to know, don't touch the dog, don't talk to the dog, because he was in a training exercise. And the handler kept on, Bullwinkle, 9. And the dog would obey right away. So I had to kind of step away and let the dog do his thing. But occasionally the canine units would be in the mall, and I would ask if I could pet the dog, and they say, yeah, certainly. And so I'd just kneel down next to the dog and let it sniff my hand, and I'd pet it and talk to him. And got good rapport with the dogs, because you never know if they would have to help us one day. Never fed them. And you know me and animals, so it was a pleasure getting to talk with these dogs. And the one dog that I did pet was a German Shepherd, and that's what Law and Order are. It's a handler and a German Shepherd. And this is one of many, many G.I. Joe and Cobra figures that came with an animal companion. The first one, of course, was Spirit, then Mutt and Junkyard. Spirit and Freedom. And then there's Law and Order, and then Cobra and their Fish and their Vulture, and all this other stuff, and Raptor with his Falcon. So Law made his appearance in 1987 in the infamous G.I. Joe movie. That was his first and only appearance. I don't recall seeing him. Well, Sunbow was over by then. I haven't watched Deke, so he may have shown up in there. But he's sort of had a Cajun accent. He was one of the rawhides that Beachhead was training. And he had this very laid-back attitude. And I remember there's one scene where Beachhead had a cluster of dynamite, and he threw it, and Order caught it and brought it back to Beachhead, and of course it ticked him off, and he said, oh, he's just playing. Law defended his partner and said, yeah, he just thought you were playing, Beachhead. So that was his story. I did have this figure as a kid. The only accessory I had was the helmet. I didn't have his weapons or the dog. So got him at a thrift shop for like 25 or 50 cents. So yeah, those are my memories of him. Didn't have any friends that had him. I always thought he was a really cool character. I liked the color scheme that they chose for him. Uh, he came packaged. He was on the shelves from 87 to 89, and then he was discontinued. His original retail price was, I think, $2.99. I didn't see anything listed on Yojo about him, about his price. But, just giving, $2.39 to $2.99, depending. But there were some card variants that he came with. One was, on the front, it had the fridge, the refrigerator, William Perry, the promo for that action figure. And there were two different card on the reverse side of the card. One had an explosion back where it was covering up pictures of figures that were coming soon, and the next card showed those action figures. I Man, do I wish I had the first card back that had those explosion pictures on the back. That was cool. I don't recall seeing that particular one for Law and Order, but I do recall seeing those on the shelf, and those card backs are a little bit harder to find. I scoured eBay and Etsy and was not able to find them. So let me pull up pictures of that card back for you so you can take a look. It is pretty cool. Pretty cool card backs. I like those quite a bit. So here he is. There's Law and Order. Looking pretty good. I always liked the animals that came with the figures, save for the Barracuda that came with Undertow. Yeah, that's an unnecessary animal companion. All right, so let's start off with the file card. This was H1, so this is like 1988 release. You could see a sticker here on there for the fridge. So it reads Codename Law and Order, MP, and K9. That's dogs to the layperson. File name, Levine Christopher M. Serial number 044568883. Military specialty, primary military specialty, military police. Secondary military specialty, intelligence. That makes sense, because he may have to interrogate POWs at times. Birthplace of Houston, Texas. Grade E4. He is a specialist. Middle paragraph reads, Law and Order walked a beat in the Houston 5th Ward for 2 years before Law decided that there must be a more fulfilling way to be a cop. So he and Canine Order enlisted in the MPs. And Law is a trained dog handler with natural affinity for animals. He is also airborne qualified. Bottom paragraph reads in quotations, MPs are responsible for the security of an installation. They may sound like a cushy job if all they are guarding is a garrison full of clerks, cooks, and accountants. But in another matter altogether, when they are acting as a defensive line for an elite unit like the Joes, the bad guys are going to send in the best they have, and that's not good enough to get past Law and Order. You don't want to mess with him and that dog of his. Chew your leg right off, he will. After that, you still have to deal with the dog. Okay, so it's referring to Law chewing off your leg and then Order jumping in. Interesting. Sounds like kind of like Mutt and Junkyard. Okay, so looking at Order, he came with this rubber leash with little spikes on it to kind of look like a dog collar, a spiked dog collar. He is a German Shepherd. They did a very good job of making him look like a shepherd, didn't they? Great looking dog, little black splashes of paint. Splashes of black paint. There we go. And they sculpted in hair. Great job on that pooch. I would have really liked to have had this one as a kid. Okay, now looking at Law. First accessory is his black Uzi, same one that came with Low Light. So nothing different there. And his other weapon is a baton. Very nice baton. This is a P something or other type baton where you could spin it around and use it as a defensive and offensive weapon. Now looking at Law, he's wearing, I've never had that helmet off as long as I've had him. This white MP style Kevlar helmet. He has brown hair, brown eyes, and a very toothy grin, more like a grin of fear. Wearing this blue vest with a smoke grenade, there's some pockets, a sculpted on pistol, and a shield. Has MP on his left arm. He has that orange t-shirt on, which I like. And around here on the back, he has a pair of handcuffs, a key ring, or a key holder, another key holder up front, and a silver buckle. This is by 87. They perfected the silver paint where it wouldn't rub off as badly. His right hand, he has a wristwatch, wearing green BDUs with pockets on each side, bloused, and these black boots. Very good figure. I like this guy. If you want to get this, I do recommend that you do. He's pretty cool. So we're going to have to find out just how much cool costs in my next segment. Come on, pause. Alrighty. Stopped at Jack in the Box. One of their buttery jumbo jacks calling my name. But don't tell my cardiologist. All right, so let me know what you think about this figure. He is really nice. I like him quite a bit. Kind of a easily forgettable figure, though. I know he definitely would have gotten some play time with us. We were always using Mutt and Junkyard with John and I to make arrests for G.I. Joe. But now that they had a designated MP, he would get to roust a few officers' clubs. So let me know if you had him, and how did you utilize him as a kid, and how would you utilize him now? Alrighty, so for those of you who are just joining me, my newest subscribers, thank you guys very much. I'm 24 away from reaching my goal of 500. When I get to that goal, I will be holding a giveaway. I'll be giving away one of these Snake Eyes Walmart exclusives. I'll be giving away a G.I. Joe Classified gold-headed Prophet Dealer Destro, and also a 1989 Python Patrol Asp, complete with decals. So when I reach that goal, I'll be holding that drawing, and not far from it now. So thank you guys very much for subscribing. It makes me feel good, lets me know my content is good enough, worthy enough of your subscription, and that's always humbling for me that people actually care enough to subscribe, and I'm very grateful for that. So, Byron's Gripes is a segment that I do to give everybody an idea of what to look for on the aftermarket as far as prices. I only quote eBay prices, not to pick on eBay or the sellers. That's not what I'm about. I pick on the prices though, because as you guys know or may not, if you're shopping for G.I. Joe, these prices get to be very stupid. Oh, I mean, sometimes we're talking $2,000-$3,000 for one toy. Stupid. That's so stupid. Okay, so here we go. We have one that is incomplete, near complete. Yeah, same as incomplete. $26.99. Here is one complete with a file card, $24.99. Free shipping. Free is always, I love the sound of free, so I'll put that up a deal of the day. I seldom quote auction prices because they are fluid. Here is Just the Law by himself, absolutely zero accessories, $12.99. Here's one that is almost complete. He's missing his baton, but has a file card, $25.46. Order, or just by himself, $5.95. That's about average for him and Junkyard. He and Junkyard. $5.95 is about what to expect. Here's one complete, no file card, $34.99. No, just because it says G.I. Joe, it doesn't mean it's valuable. Complete file card, $31. I'll put that with deal of the day or better offer, and it has free returns. His helmet, $1.99. Oh, here's a doozy, $40. It's complete with a file card, but $40 or better offer? Really? Did you have to walk a tightrope across the Grand Canyon to find this one? Is that why it's so expensive? If I had to do that, you better believe I put a high price tag on something. Another order for $7.99. Complete. Another one, $29.50. Here's one by himself. No accessories except for the helmet, $9.99. No, I wouldn't pay that for him. $6.47 for a file card, $3.50 shipping. Put it in a standard envelope, slap a stamp on it, and mail it. Cheaper than that. But that's standard if you want to use a protective envelope, a padded envelope. So, a lot of times the sellers will do that. Here's one complete, and let's see what the buy it now price is. $50. Don't think so. $6.49 for the dog, for the leash and helmet, $10 or better offer. Here's one just by himself. $24.99. I don't think so. Here's one with the Uzi, leash and dog, $24.99. Here's one that comes with a near complete Colonel. Well, no, that is a complete Colonel Courage. Law and Order. They're missing some accessories. Looks like the leash and baton, $29.99. I'll put that with deal of the day. Excuse me. Here's two of the action figure, one of the dog, one Uzi and file card, $39.99. Yeah, you can customize one or save them for parts or whatnot. Full card back uncut. Let's see if that's the one that has the cool. No, that's the one without the explosion back. Like I said, I scoured eBay. I thought I may have missed this one. $12. Bare bones. Don't think so. That's pretty expensive. Here's one deal of the day. Bare bones. Absolutely no accessories. $7 with free shipping. That dude knows. He knows. Here's one with a full card back. Oh, it's allegedly an unpunched file card. It is a unpunched. Okay. Um, that one is the standard card back, $54.99 or better offer for an unpunched. For those of you who don't know what unpunched means, it's collector talk. See where this little hole is at the top? That little tab that fits in there didn't come out. So that means it wasn't put on a peg. So the seller probably bought it right out of the case, or the purchaser bought it right out of the case, so it didn't get punched. Here's one that comes with blaster, incomplete blaster, but blaster has a file card, $26.99. Another bare bones, $15.99. I don't think so. Another incomplete, $24.95. Complete, $34.95. One that is carded. This is $99.95 for vintage carded. This isn't all that bad, so I'll put that up with deal of the day. Here's one. This person, I don't know, they've been sucking helium or something, but $22 bare bones, absolutely no accessories. Here's another one, factory sealed, $399.99. No. I'll buy the other one if I want one that's sealed. And I don't. Here's one, no accessories, just the dog and helmet. File card, $24. Another bare bones, $7.50. Okay. Wanting $8.15 for shipping? No, you could ship that for $3.50. He's wanting to make a little extra money off of shipping. So you guys know how I feel about that. Gouging on shipping is just absolutely stupid. It's wrong. I'm sorry. If you want to make your money off of it, make it by selling the figure. You know, don't gouge on shipping. That's just it's wrong. It's stupid. Oh, another one, $31 complete with file card, deal of the day. The dog with the helmet, $14.95. I don't know. That's kind of high. Incomplete, $24.99. Here's one complete, $40. Another complete one, $44.99. One with a full card back, incomplete, $18.97. $49.99 complete with file card, $28 incomplete. Full card back, it's the standard card back, so nothing fancy, $24.99. There are a lot of them. $6.99 for the file card. Here's another one with the card back complete, $49.99. There are several. So I will just end it there. Oh, here's one with an AFA grade of 80 for $700. I just had to throw that out because AFA isn't always dependable. So this guy's definitely out there. If you want him, there's several pages of him. So let's go ahead and get to this book. It's 330 some pages long. As I had mentioned, my brother has written it. It's called Security Officers, the True First Responders. And that's no exaggeration. Security guards have gotten a bad rap. He mentions that in this book. He had written it with the intent to show an insider's perspective of what happens in the security industry to prove yes, they are true first responders. A lot of times it's security that has to call the police, recognize first responder. So security observes what's going on and reports it to whoever or the police. Oftentimes they go unarmed, so you're getting yourself in harm's way. unarmed. Other times you just carry pepper spray or a taser, or there are some that are armed. People refer to you as Paul Blart, or from my generation, Barney Fife. I got called Barney Fife a lot. My very first security job, we wore a white shirt and black pants, and we were called generic rent-a-cops. If you could remember back in the 80s and 90s, consumer brand foods that were released by the store, or consumer brand products released by the store, came in black and white labeling, referred to as generic. And stores later on got politically correct and got away from that bad rap and started calling it consumer brand and gave it their own store name, like Big K, for store brand pop, soda, whatever you want to call it, or like Dr. Thunder at Walmart. So yeah, we were called generic rent-a-cops. And yeah, there are some security officers out there who get very badge heavy and get the job for the uniform to make themselves feel better, and they become bullies. Some take the job far too seriously. And George had referred to one gentleman he worked with. It's in the book that always, fingerless leather gloves. And there are two guys that did that, and both of those guys had a problem. But let me read some excerpts from his book. Referring to security professionals. These are the people I seek to honor by telling my stories and stories of other security professionals. I want the public to know that they are not a bunch of Barney Fifes, wannabes, or Paul Blarts. They are not at all a bunch of bumbling and well-intentioned fools trying to assert their own will on the public. They are average people trying to do the right thing with their lives. And for the moment, they are putting themselves at risk to protect property and lives of others. Another one here. You never hear about security deaths on the news. Very rarely is the death of a security officer reported in the news. In fact, 112 officers were killed in 217. In 219, we lost 52 security officers at the time of this writing. A lot of people have no idea how dangerous security work really can be. The average person just sees that clown on a golf cart or standing around near a tractor to discourage trespassers, thieves, vandals, etc. Under those circumstances, it is true that the work is not very dangerous, but in most cases at least. But there are exceptions depending upon the town and particular location in that town. But the fact is, security personnel work in hotels, office buildings, courthouses, factories, abandoned property, at-risk properties, including but not limited to government buildings, hospitals, and high-rise buildings. This book gets serious, and then there's humorous moments. One here, you'll have to buy the book to get the full story, but it's noise complaint, elderly lady versus an exercise machine. She keeps on hearing squeak, squeak, squeak coming from the neighbor's apartment. Calls, my brother responds, and he really says there's not much I can do because there isn't any noise coming from the apartment now. So he leaves, she calls him back, and he realizes this isn't a woman that's seeking attention. There's something going on he needs to investigate. And he hears it going on, and it's not an exercise machine. So I'll let you read that story on your own. It is pretty good. Again, it is Security Officers, the True First Responders by George E. Kellogg, not Alfred E. Newman. yeah, this is my brother. I mean, he mentions stuff about my dad in here, and he dedicated the book to his children, of course, and to our father. Uh, it's a very good book. I'm not saying it because he's my brother. I read it with a non-biased mind, and these are very good stories in here. Some things I had experienced as a security guard that weren't written in here, but reading it through the eyes of a former security guard, yeah, these things can happen. They do happen, and more than likely will happen. Yeah, my job was dangerous. I did mall security. I did private security. Worked as I stood guard for a convenience store in the middle of the night in some very bad parts of Phoenix. Gang members coming and going, people trying to do beer runs, things like that. I did get in several fights as a loss prevention agent. People, for some reason, commit a crime and don't want to get caught. Uh, just one humorous story. When I was doing loss prevention for a grocery store out here, there's this guy that came in several times a month. He would steal a can of formula and run. Uh, it, I don't know, baby formula, very expensive, right? Whether or not they didn't have money, or they were they getting food benefits from the state? Were they spending it all on things other than food for the baby? I don't know why he was stealing it, but he was, and we needed to stop him. Well, I finally saw him do it. And so I go outside, and I could still look in and see the baby food aisle. He walks in, does his thing, and comes out the door where I'm standing. As he breaches the threshold, I know he didn't pay. I try to stop him, and he starts running. Well, this parking lot at that particular time was very, very dark. This is like 8 or 9 at night. And as he's running, I'm yelling at him to stop, and he keeps on looking over his shoulder. No, no, no. Well, by the fourth or fifth no, he doesn't see this grocery cart in front of him. I'm running as fast as I could go. He hits this grocery cart, bam, right over the top of the grocery cart. Needless to say, I caught the man. He refused to talk to me. He was hurting. I had to fix up his wounds. Common courtesy for one and for another, to prove that, hey, I'm not trying to hurt this guy if he ever decided to try to sue. Excuse me. But he went to jail. He had warrants. He never fought the shoplifting charge, so I don't know what the whole story was with him shoplifting. So, yeah, that's just one of the humorous things that could happen. I came across a girl who was a runaway, and something just didn't feel right. And, a very young girl in a very bad part of town. So I stopped and talked to her, and she admitted she had run away, and it was a stupid idea. And so I called the police, and they picked her up and took her back. So there are things that security officers do that very often go unannounced. And the ones that really stand out are the idiots who are wearing a badge. And this is what George is really trying to point out in this book, that it is a profession. It is a very noble profession, and it is one that pretty it has a very bad rap, and when it really shouldn't. Because when the chips are down, who do people run to? Security, right? We're there for a convenience. When we're not needed, we're an inconvenience, right? So that's this book. Check it out. BarnesandNoble.com. Again, security officers the true first responders. Very proud that he wrote a book, and I know how expensive writing a book could be. I'm a published author. My book was a failure. It's a children's book about pirates called The Adventures of Captain Tuna. Walmart is selling it right now. But I'm an independent author like my brother, so I went through an independent company. I put up my own money to pay for the publishing of the book. It's $18.95 for this. It's a very good read. Like I said, I read it in one night in a 12-hour shift in between my rounds with patients, and I'm a slow reader. It got me that engrossed. So check it out, please. Give my brother help with that. Not really help, but yeah, I mean, let's support my brother. He's a good guy. You know, he's my brother. Did I mention he's my brother? We had the same parents. Funny how that works. But anyway, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I've taken up enough of your time. So please stop by and see me on this channel. Check out my other videos. Like, share, and subscribe. Especially like and share. That sends a nice algorithm to YouTube and lets them know that this channel is actually doing something. And it makes my channel more available to other people. And I'll consider it a personal favor. Also, don't forget about the giveaway when I get 24 more subscribers for a total of 500. So, you know, I don't give away cheap stuff. This is stuff I would keep for myself. So, always good prizes. So, we'll talk to you later. This is Joe Motion Videos 82 sign off. And talk to you later. Ribs. I had ribs for lunch. No, just kidding. That burger. Oh, so